senior tech executive gets a strange email. It mentions a reference letter he wrote for a visa petition for a founder he barely knows. He never wrote that letter. He never signed it either. Someone did it for him. That forged letter isn't even the biggest lie in this file. It's not even the second biggest. It's just the one where we finally know exactly whose name got used without asking. 12+ venture firms wired this woman $7 million. Her actual business made about $60,000. She didn't round up. She built a second business that only existed on paper. And then, months later, she built a second fake credential to match it. Quick note before we go further. Everything here is public record, federal filings, DOJ statements sourced below. This is a story, not financial advice. This is the file on Gökçe Güven, and it's not really about one lie. It's about what happens when a person runs out of truth and instead of scaling the story down, manufactures a bigger one. Twice. In two systems that were never built to survive someone doing that on purpose. Güven came to New York from Turkey, chasing the exact story venture capital can't say no to. Young, foreign-born, self-taught, somebody who'd apparently cracked a problem nobody bigger had solved yet. Her company was Calder. The pitch. Plug any brand straight into TikTok and Instagram's ad data. No agency standing in the middle. Sold like financial infrastructure. Priced like a rocket. By early 2024, she was ready to raise. And the stories she told fit the shape investors are trained to fund. Small. Scrappy. Already working. Here's the thing about that shape. It only has to be believed once, by the right room, at the right moment. After that, the money does the rest of the convincing for you. You know this part if you've ever pitched anyone, anything. A partner who sat through 4,000 decks, 90 minutes to be the one they still remember on the drive home. Almost none of what was on that chart was real. And she knew that before she opened the laptop. April 2024. 12+ firms competed for the round. About $7 million landed in Calder's account. Real money for a story that was mostly fiction. And here's the detail that turns this from a founder who exaggerated into a founder who planned it. Prosecutors say Güven kept 2 complete sets of books. One, she checked herself privately. One, she showed everyone else. The private ledger, the one built for her, not for investors, put Calder's real annual revenue at around $60,000. The public one, the one on the pitch deck, said 1.2 million. 26 paying brands. 53 more, testing it for free, supposedly about to convert. Prosecutors say a lot of those 26 brands had no real signed agreement with Calder at all. Some had never paid $1. Some, allegedly, had never even said yes. Here's what should bother you more than the lie itself. It worked. Not because it was clever. Because nobody made one phone call. 12+ firms whose entire paid job is checking exactly this kind of claim. And not one of them appears to have called those 26 brands. By 2025, Forbes put her on its 30 under 30 list, marketing and advertising, founder of a fast-growing fintech startup. The badge didn't just reward the story, it went on to help sell the next one. Because while the funding round was closing, Güven had a second problem in a completely different system. Her visa. She wanted an O1A, the category the US government reserves, in its own language, for people of, quote, extraordinary ability. You don't get extraordinary ability status by being promising. You get it by having powerful people vouch for you in writing. So, prosecutors allege, real senior tech executives' names ended up on reference letters swearing to exactly that. One problem. Prosecutors say those executives never wrote a word of it, never signed anything. The signatures were forged, the DocuSign seals faked, and dropped onto documents under real people's names without their knowledge. Notice what actually happened there. The first lie, the money, bought her a badge. When the badge alone wasn't enough to clear the next locked door, the instinct wasn't to slow down and tell the truth. It was to forge a second, brand new credential in an entirely different institution, using the same basic tool. Someone else's signature, borrowed without permission. If you're the kind of person who wants to see exactly how a fraud like this gets built, piece by piece, before the headlines catch up, hit subscribe and drop a comment with which case we should open next. Subscribe and leave a comment to help our channel grow. Now back to how this one actually ends. February 2026. Federal prosecutors in the Southern District of New York charge Güven with securities fraud, wire fraud, visa fraud, and aggravated identity theft. Combined, prosecutors say she was facing up to 52 years. 52 years for a business most people had never heard of before the indictment. That gap between how enormous a fraud sounds in a headline and how small the real company actually was is the whole story in one number. In May 2026, Güven pled guilty. Not to all 4 charges. To 1, securities fraud. As part of that deal, prosecutors dropped the wire fraud count, the visa fraud count, and the identity theft count. She agreed to forfeit the $7 million. To be precise, because it matters. She admitted guilt to securities fraud. The other 3 charges were dropped, not disproven, as part of that agreement. Hold both of those facts at the same time. That's the accurate version. And here's the mechanism worth stealing out of this whole file. Neither fabrication was sophisticated. Both were just one confident number, repeated without blinking, in front of someone whose job was to check it and didn't. So do the one thing 12+ firms skipped and the one thing a visa reviewer skipped. Don't ask for the top line number. Ask for the 3 biggest customer contracts by name and call whoever signed them. A real 7-figure business survives that 4-minute phone call. A fabricated one never does. That's what that executive was staring at in the opening shot of this file. Proof of a con that had already worked once, being run again, on him without his knowledge. Güven is scheduled to be sentenced September 17, 2026 in front of U.S. District Judge Lewis Kaplan in Manhattan. The Forbes badge is still out there, permanently attached to a name that's now also attached to a federal guilty plea. Somewhere on that same list, this year and every year, there's a founder whose numbers actually hold up, and she's a little harder to believe now too. That's the real cost of a forged credential. It's never just the one person's. If this file gave you one real habit to steal, verify the customer, not the credential. Hit subscribe. New files coming very soon. Subscribe and leave a comment to help our channel grow. 12+ firms, $7 million, 2 forged credentials, 1 phone call, never made, case closed.